Welcome to Soulful Social Media Strategies for Holistic Practitioners. This is your online virtual series that will cut through all the social media marketing confusion to take your efforts from soul crushing to soulful. My name is Dianne Del. I am a licensed acupuncturist, course creator, coach, and the host of this series. And I'm super excited to introduce to you our guest today, Dr. Anise, who also is a practitioner of Chinese medicine. Yay! So we may geek out a little bit going down the TCM road. So hopefully we can bring you a lot of value, because I know Dr. Anise, I met him through Clubhouse, the new social media app. And immediately I was struck by what he has created online, and also his generosity and his heart. So thank you so much, Dr. Anise, for being here.
Oh my gosh, you're welcome, Diane. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited today, and I really just have to give it back to you. And what really attracted me to your heart and your mission, and just the joy you bring to the world, and bring that joy with your mission, because that's a key, and that's one of your talents, really, for people to really get to know you, to like you, and to trust you, because you have their best interest in mind. And I love the title of, crushing these limiting beliefs, right? To then help others expand their mission, and through aligning their heart with your heart. So this is just great. I'm super excited to be here with you.
Thank you. I mean, I love it. I think you and I have kind of a similar mission, in that when I think about the bigger vision for me, why I do something like this is because if I can support, and I think you feel the same way, if I can support more practitioners to reach more people and to help more people, and again, to move through those limiting beliefs, I know that there will be less emotional, mental, physical suffering in the world, because then they'll help so many more people.
Yes, it's true. It's so true, because if you look at the world right now, we are in a time of crisis, right? And really starting out with the vision of what is going on. And I love that you really went right to the emotional side of this to help other people, right? We're in a time right now where there's a lot of desperation, right? There's a lot of need. So to start with the vision and really looking out there to see, what is going on in our community, right? There are problems, but then really looking at that problem and turning it into an opportunity. Right? Turning from being on the defensive side, right, from that to more of an offensive side. And I'm not going to offensive, I'm so offended, but offensive, what are you going to do that's proactive to reach your community, to really see the emotions that are going on, to really that quote comes to mind from A Purpose-Driven Life is, it's not about you. I believe that's the first line in the book. And really it's about service and serving others. So speaking of those emotions are absolutely key.
Yeah, being others focused. I love that. I try to teach that and practice that as much as possible. Let me just read a little bit about your street cred, and then I want to hear a little bit about your journey and how you got to be where you are today. Does that sound good?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Dr. Anise is the owner of an integrative practice online and in Central Florida called Acupuncture Fit. He did his internship with an orthopedic surgeon from China who developed a scalp acupuncture technique for symptoms of severe, terminal, and rare cases. He now uses this technique in the office and virtually, coupled with a unique body type program to improve past thoughts, traumas, and toxins. He has amassed a TikTok following on his account at Acupuncture Fit of more than 270,000 followers with over 300 million views. That's amazing. And is most recently a contributor to Dr. Josh Axe's book called Ancient Remedies. How perfect is that? And you get to talk about ancient wisdom and modern technology, the perfect marriage, the perfect yin and yang.
Yes, now we're talking.
Yeah.
I
So
love that.
I would love to hear a little bit more about your journey. What got you here?
Yeah, and that's great. It's very interesting because throughout my life, from, we'll start with the personal perspective, because I love to start with the heart,
Yeah.
because that's where everything begins. A lot of times I found in my past, I was really in my mind, and I was always thinking of the logic and what do I need to do? And this needs to be perfect, right? But I realized that was stifling me, because my perfection was really creating this closed loop where I couldn't really branch out, right? I noticed through a lot of soul searching, a lot of mentorship, not hanging around, quality friends, quality colleagues like Diane. I mean, I love your heart. And every time I'm on a Clubhouse call with you or listening to you, I learn something, right? And so I realized early on that who I was hanging out with was really not feeding my heart to the best of my ability, right? So we'll kind of start there. So once I realized that, and I started, aligning myself with just beautiful souls, beautiful hearts, then I was able to grow kind of like my personal mission. Okay. In the meantime, my practice was growing, but it was not growing in the right direction. The core values of my life and the core values of my practice were not in alignment.
Mm.
And really honing in on my core values was the key for me to start growing in the right direction. Remember, growth. We think of growth and when I say I should say actually I always thought of growth as growing in the right direction. However, I realized through mentorship that I could possibly be growing in the wrong direction.
Mm.
Okay. Once I realized that I stand for this, I believe in that, right? I believe in these core values. That was a true north that I could look through this lens from a different perspective. When I do business with people, when I encounter patients, hey, are they in alignment with my core values? If the answer was yes, I could make my yes mean yes. And
Mm.
if the answer was no, it could make my no mean no. And that was very difficult for me too, to say no, or maybe even not now.
Yes. Wow, that's really powerful. And what I was thinking about when you were saying your core values in your business and aligning and your personal life, it's like I was thinking of that phrase, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right?
I
So you
love it.
can't be one way, a way of being in one area of your life and a way of being in another area. It's like you are who you are, and you get to bring all of that to all of your experiences. I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's super important if you think about it as we connect, because a big factor of this is all about community connection.
Mhm.
As we connect, we connect energetically in a way, and I am going to TCM a little bit here, but everything is energy. Whether you're in TCM or not, we know everything is energy, right? And if you're connecting with somebody and they're growing in the right direction, your energy too is going to be growing in that direction.
100%. We're attracting what we are, right? Or what our belief systems are, and we get to create that as well. Yeah, I love that you said, I'm going to bring a little energy into this. I had a teacher once who said to me, and I'll just like, actually, I studied with him for a long time, and it was actually after I graduated school. I studied with him for years. I feel so blessed because there were not that many people who got to study with him. But the first thing that came out of his mouth was, there is one medicine with two parts, energy and matter. And
Mm.
you can't know one without the other. So it's not like Western medicine's wrong, Eastern medicine's right. It's like it's the perfect, beautiful marriage. You can't he used the example like you see the leaf blowing, right? You can see it. It's like tangible. You can touch it if you had to. You could hear it if you had to. And you can't see the energy that's blowing, but you know it's there. So everything is energy. So that's like what you're attracting, what you're doing, what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, what you're touching. So cool.
So good. I love that leaf analogy, because the leaf could be blowing in the right direction or the wrong direction. And then at the end of the day, there's so little that we have control over. But if we can really grasp the control of that energy flowing, or another analogy, and I love that analogy that you bring up, is like a cell phone connection. We
Mm.
can't see that connection from cell phone to cell phone. But what we can do, if there is a connection where it's like fuzzy and it's frustrating, and you start feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't hear you. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? We look and we think like, hey, how do we make this connection better? Where's the interference? What needs to be removed? Oh, you know what? I need to step over in another room because I'm getting a better connection. Oh, I need to remove this place or person from my life and enter in with a new place or person in my life. That leaf blowing is going to just be going in the right direction, going towards your vision, right?
Yes.
From your mission. So
Well,
good.
I love that because one of the questions I was thinking about when you were talking about growth in the wrong direction, my thought was, oh, how does one determine if it's the wrong direction or if you're just having resistance to it? You know,
Yeah,
like how do you really, like, how do you tap into that? And I think what you just said was like having a clear vision.
absolutely.
Having a clear vision. That's the total wood element phase of your business, by the way. Like,
I love it. Here we go.
ready? That's the
Sure.
vision.
That's the general, right? You're being a
What
general.
you get to create. So, all right. So let's bring it back to ancient wisdom and modern technology. Tell me a little bit more about what that means to you and how we can support our audience.
Yes. So what that means most to me, and I love that you bring this up. And by the way, Dan, you are an expert like interviewer. The questions that you're asking are phenomenal, and they're just even life changing. I'm learning so much already about myself, you know. So in marrying ancient wisdom and modern technology, I'll speak on 2 points from that. And number one is going to be an actionable tip right off the bat. Okay. I firmly believe that we need to use our resources for the good. Okay. And I was like, okay, so how do I scramble? I got all of this knowledge from traditional Chinese medicine. And then there are all of these new apps out there. You know, I missed the boat on Facebook early on. I missed the boat on Instagram early on with organic reach, right? Because there's two ways to really crush it on social media. You can use a lot of time, a lot of work and energy to make fantastic, outstanding posts that are organic. Basically, what that means is not paid, right? Posts.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can pay a massive amount of money to buy your time and then, you know, look to maybe paying for some posts. So I say you want to do a little bit of both. And this is where we start to marry the modern technology, right, with the ancient wisdom, which is mine or traditional Chinese medicine or whatever your passion is, if you're, you know, listening right now. And how do you do that well, right? So here's the thing. As you like progress and as you're figuring out what you like best, and as I was doing that, I made it a promise to myself that I wouldn't miss the boat on the next big app. Okay. I told myself that I'm going to keep a finger on the pulse of this and just super committed. And so TikTok comes along and I'm talking organic now, purely organic, because I saw
Wait. Dr. Anise, TikTok's for 20-year-olds, right?
Yeah. Oh, ha ha ha. And you have to dance.
Probably what, 25?
and you, yeah. Yeah, it came out just 5 years ago. Yeah. So no, but here's the thing. A lot of people think that it's for teenagers and you know, you have to dance. But it's such a small percentage on the app that are under 17. So, you know, and just to kind of give you some confidence and, you know, with our massive following, I'm really happy to say that I've only danced in a handful of videos and we've produced hundreds of videos on our channel. So really these
looking
tips
for those dancing ones.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say to get out of your comfort zone. And I actually might be doing a dancing one here soon just to get out of my comfort zone. We'll see. I'll let you know. So back to like really the actionable tips on this really to combine. And I love that you bring that up, you know, modern technology with ancient wisdom or your passion and your drive or my passion and my drive, which is traditional Chinese medicine was really, I was, when I first got on the app, I hear it's kind of exploding. It's very new, right? And I have to give credit to it's not really me that's doing this. It's my team, right? Our team, and you know we have a strategist on our team. She is a former Walt Disney World Imagineer. So she brings a lot of storytelling to this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that Walt Disney World Imagineer is my wife. Her name is Gabriella. And you know, she and I are really our team, right? So it doesn't take a massive team to build this, okay? Really some good, simple lighting and like your phone, right? So here's the key that I want to bring to this integration. So I absolutely love essential oils. And I can't stand to see a lot of my patients who have, skin conditions. And I believe that there are a lot of essential oils that can help many symptoms of skin problems that are out there. And maybe Diane, I'd love to hear from you some tips on, utilizing essential oils. I know, on points, which is you're an expert at, and I can't wait to learn more about that. So we have kind of these two things. And I'm like, how do I combine helping people with these awesome tools that we have? So the point is this: until I got really clear on my customer, on my patient, on when a patient walks into my practice, when I light up, it's like, that's the patient. When I'm like, hey, you know what? You're complaining of this. That's my specialty. That's my wheelhouse. Because before, I was really focused on speaking to multiple patients. That was my focus. I was like, I treat many, many females here, right? And here's the thing: I was speaking to like a boatload of females because that's really who came into my practice, and I was able to serve and really transform their lives. Anybody else, I'd refer to someone else and say, hey, I'm not the right fit for you. Go see this master. So here's the kicker: I was speaking to too many people when there's really only one person watching the video, one person getting impact on the other side. Once I realized and got really clear on that one person we call our avatar, then is when I was able to marry 5,000 years of ancient wisdom with modern technology. And in 8 months, I mean, our TikTok account now has blown up from that. There's so much strategy that I could go into, and please feel free to take it in whatever direction. But to answer your question, getting clear on your ideal customer is going to be my number one action tip for you to really crush it on any platform.
I just love that you say that, because I 100% agree. I teach that to everybody. And so I feel so aligned with that. And I think there's a lot of people have resistance around that as well, especially practitioners. And what I love is that you're not just creating your avatar for your TikTok account. You have your avatar for your patients. And that's where like a beautiful marriage starts happening. Like you get to have a specific avatar solving a specific problem for your patients as well. And I think there's a scarcity around feeling like I just need to serve everybody. And I think then you don't stand out as far as I'm concerned, right?
Absolutely. And as you know, our colleague, Dr. David Toohill, he always says this quote. It's an ancient proverb. I'm sure you've heard it before. If you go and try to catch two rabbits, you're going to end up with none.
Yes, I love it. That's powerful. Thank you for reminding me that. I have heard him say that. That's great. So what are the first steps for somebody who, let's say they're like, okay, TikTok is, since you're exploding on TikTok, and I'll be honest, like I'm ready to take some notes because I opened a TikTok account and all I do is scroll through to see the dances and so I would love to learn like what would be the first steps to for somebody who doesn't have a Gabrielle and Gabriella to start showing up and making a difference.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it's not whether you have a Gabriella or you don't have a Gabriella. Where it starts, like I said, I have to bring it back to that, is internally who lights you up. So that was step one, right? So really get clear on who makes you happy, right? And I just dove into that a lot, and I definitely want to bring it on to kind of the next step. So again, all you have to have essentially is you and your phone. Yeah. We still at this point shoot with us and our phone, and we've incorporated now a ring light and some good sound, right? Because that's very important. It's great to spend all of this time creating content, which my tip number 2 is you want to create quality content. Right now that you're at a place, and whether you're there or you're not there, get there. Really focus on creating quality content that looks good, content that sounds good, content where the end user can almost touch it, can almost smell it, can almost feel it, that they really do. Because once you hit a lot of those senses, what's going to happen is that they're going to really, really like you, and they're going to really, really trust you. And if you do it from a point of wanting to serve and help them, which I love what you said again, it's not about you, right? It's about really them and their experience. Then and only then can you start branching off in different creative ways to really take your videos to the next level. Okay. One thing right now that's really hot on TikTok, in my opinion, if you're going to pick a type of video that want to crush it with, are videos that are instructive. Okay.
Mm.
Videos that are instructive teach an end user on something that is actionable, right? About your passion, right? Something that is inspiring about your passion. And to get really creative on this, you look back to that avatar, you look back to that main person, okay? Make sure as you're shooting this content, the video is vertical. You want to embrace the full screen of a vertical video. Screens should be full screen as you're watching video, okay? Not horizontal. So you don't want to film your videos specifically on TikTok this way, okay? You want to be very, very concise. You want to keep the viewers watching, engaged. That's really the sweet spot of a lot of this, because once it's concise, then it gives them an opportunity to think and not scroll. That's going to be your goal, is to think and not scroll, okay? Because you want them to engage. You want to have a caption that clearly describes your video and really, really just engages them. Something that's personable and relevant to the video is very, very important. 2 more tips. I can't stress it enough. Be you, be authentic, be reliable, make your content personable. Each video on TikTok has a great opportunity to just explode. I love the generosity that the TikTok algorithm gives. And then lastly, get sound in your video. Turn it up. Be sure to include music or voiceovers and effects that really engage your audience in your video.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm like taking massive notes here. I was thinking about like kind of going back 2 steps. First of all, I love the be you, be authentic, reliable, and personable. I think I have this saying that I say to my community often, is like, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person or the wrong thing to the right person. So if you're just showing up like that one, if you're just showing up as yourself, you are going to make a difference to the right person. And the rest, it's okay. They can keep scrolling. However, to catch somebody's attention, you were saying, think about not scrolling. So, and you said a caption. Do you have any tips, just kind of diving a little deeper about, and some people call it that the hook, right? What is going to make the difference to make somebody stop scrolling? Like they're scrolling, blah, blah, blah. And like you want to hook them, you want to catch, because you only have a second, because people are short term. What advice have you got around that?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because you really have to, capture the audience's attention really, really quickly. So early on when we were creating the videos, I realized that I was saying a lot like, hey, my name is Dr. Anise, and I want to welcome you to my video. And I'm super excited to share this passion of mine because it's going to change the world, right? So, the attention span of the world, in my opinion, and the way I see it, is like that of a goldfish right now, or maybe even less than a goldfish, some studies are showing. But it is what it is, and here we are. So you really need to capture the attention first. My best tip about the hook is, present what you're going to give them. Present what's good for them.
Right.
Them just watching you and hearing
in
your
other words,
name.
like what the promise of the video is, like what the
right.
outcome or the promise. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Okay.
That's the key. That's the key right there.
Love it. All right. What other tips? Now, a lot of people, will do like these fancy videos, like where they're like, so TikTok is 60 seconds, right? So then I often see people like doing like these fancy things like this, 15 seconds of this, 15 seconds of this, 15 seconds. Can you just take a minute and just share, or do you have to like do like crazy fancy stuff?
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be crazy fancy. I always say keep it simple, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, as my mentor, Dr. Peter Camiolo, told me, very, very inspirational, is sometimes you have to simplify to multiply. Sometimes you have
Mm.
to slow down to speed up. Okay. And that's very, very important as you start thinking about your avatar, your ideal customer. To answer your question, it's like, you don't have to have a big production company. You don't have to have this camera crew. Really just keeping it simple and going back to like, what is my audience needs are. Someone's not sitting on the couch right now saying, I need acupuncture instruments in my arm to help this pain,
Right.
or I need this cream to reduce, help reduce my fine lines and wrinkles, right? They're not sitting around thinking that. They're thinking, ouch, I have elbow pain. Ouch, I have these fine lines and wrinkles. So then you present the modality or whatever your business passion is. So a couple of outstanding, instructive videos that we've done are based around my story. So I want to encourage you to really talk about your story, how you got into the field that you got, right? You don't necessarily have to be in the office, right? But then be in the office as well. That takes you to my next, tip is like really like showcase your office. It's funny. I had an acupuncture physician that I was speaking to who is a vet, who is a professional with treating horses. I mean, she has one of the coolest offices in the world. I'm like, showcase your stable, showcase your patients. They're tall, four-legged, and have a tail. Like, we don't get to see that every day. Okay. What are some of your favorite like items that you have? What are some of your favorite,
Ooh, I like that.
modalities on a personal or professional level, right? That are going to help improve the quality of life of your audience who's watching. Food's great. I love recipes, tips, spell it out, make it quick and easy. You maybe even try like a part 1 or a part 2, right? Engage in the comments as people are watching these. Give many, many recommendations in and outside of your business. Just right there, I could probably create an infinite amount of videos, but I can only do it if I know my ideal customer.
I love that. Full circle.
Yes,
Full
yes, this is
circle.
great. I'm
I
having
love
so
that.
much fun here today with you. It's
I know, me
always a
too. I feel
blast.
like we could just geek out forever.
Totally,
I love
totally.
it. I love it. I'm just going to ask you one more. I have a million more questions, but one more question because I want to honor your time. Um, you mentioned, I love that idea of share something personal. I love the behind the scenes, show them your office, show them where you practice, show them your office, what have you, and then show them something that means a lot to you or that is meaningful. So whatever, it could be your treatment table or your acupuncture needles or if you're or whatever you are, whatever you do, whatever your thing is. And then you mentioned, or it could be something personal. So that just brings me to a question of like, how much personal versus professional do you keep inside your?
Here's the deal. I don't vote on that. You know who votes on that? It's my audience. My audience is who votes. It's your audience who votes. So what I do is I look at the past 3 months of the most trending videos and I say, hey, you know what? They're voting for this or they're voting for that. We got a lot of engagement on my professional videos. Let's create branches and offshoots of that. We created this crazy video in traditional Chinese medicine of why not to sleep under a fan. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Like, that's crazy. All this is your nuts. What kind of doctor are you? Blah, 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 blah. Right. Okay, great. You know what we did? We made videos on that. Like, why? What's the reason behind it? What's my story? It's maybe a patient we helped with that, right? And then boom, 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 right? You can plug and play anything, right? So let your audience vote. What has the most engagement? What has the most comments? What are the most likes? And this is across all social media platforms.
Good.
Let your audience vote, and then you can pick: do I do more personal? Do I do more business? If you're confused, try both.
Oh my God. That was probably the best answer I've ever heard because I mean, there are people who are like, you just show up in business and you don't share don't share about your dog or whatever. And I was like, oh. And
Yeah, what are we at the end of the day? Human. We
yeah,
have human experiences.
yeah.
And everybody's business is in alignment with, or not, it should be in alignment with their life. Mine always wasn't, but it is. But there's some sort of, connection, right? Like you said, oh, don't show the dog. Oh, this. We're not robots. At the end of the day, we're human beings who feel, who love to take action, who want to grow, who want the best for ourselves and our family, right? So showing somebody else that, hey, I'm not just this perfect robot that's making videos and here, just do this and do that, but show like, hey, even my shortcomings in my past, right? Guess who's afraid of needles? This guy. Guess who practices acupuncture? This guy. Showcase both of those things, right? So just being real and authentic is just going to be so key. And again, let your audience vote.
I love that answer. I'm good. I think that is a great place to wind this conversation down, although I feel like I could go on forever.
Well, I just love to give, and that's I think why I was so attracted to you, Diane, is because of your giving heart. You know, how you showed up in my life, seriously, from Clubhouse, and really that's what it's all about. It's about giving, because when we give, whether we receive or not, if somebody changes their life at the end of the day, you know, my mission is done. And I know that's how your mission is. And there's three silos of health, right? There's really disease treatment, the way I look at it. There's disease prevention, and then there's health promotion. Health promotion is really where my wheelhouse is. And I firmly believe that integrating traditional Chinese medicine practice in your life, in your business, as you're just about to teach everybody. I'm so excited to take your course and just dive in, right? How can traditional Chinese medicine technique really catapult your business to the next level and even your life to the next level? And I love it because Diane, you're going to just expand on this even more in your courses and such. So if you're on the fence of like, should I get this or should I not? Like, do it. This has changed my life because you are just loved, and there is just so much like potential for each and every person that is listening right here. And if you align your potential and really open up to what Diane's philosophy is behind this and what we touch on in this free guide that she's going to give you and serve you with, and use it as a template, as she teaches you and coaches you, use her guides, her templates as she coaches you along this, and fill those voids in your life, as we were talking about earlier. Remove that interference, remove that interruption, and blow that leaf in the right direction. I promise you will have just an enormous amount of abundance and fulfillment in your life. So check out the links that Diane sent you. I'm super excited to hear the results of what you're doing for humanity.
Yes. Follow Dr. Anise and you are going to get so much value. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your heart.
You're welcome, Diane. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you.